What up, though? And welcome to Lunchtime Detroit Lions Talk, brought to you by Detroit Lions on the Prowl and Lions Nation Unite. It's your man, Curt. Still, today is Tuesday, May 3rd, 2022. Welcome to our Detroit Lions on the Prowl, Detroit Lions NFL Draft Recap Show. You know how we're going to do this thing. We look at the entire draft class as a whole. The bold move to go up and get Jameson Williams and Brad Holmes, focusing on improving the Lions' pass rush. But before we get into all that, you know what I got to do. I got to bring in the rest of the crew. First up, man, y'all know I ain't seen my boys in a while, but he rocking that MCDC sweatshirt today. The ladies' pet, the men's regret. You ain't seen nothing yet. The big-time player from the Himalayas, my man, LL Cool. What's up, my dude?
What's up, Proud Nation, and good morning.
And a very happy defensive line coach, because the Lions, man, focus on that big time. Y'all know who it is, man. The boxing pride of Jackson, Michigan. My man, who?
Coach Jones. Who is Coach Mike Jones? What's going on, Lion fans?
Let's get this thing started.
Right now.
Let go.
It's Detroit Lions Talk, baby.
We're going to get up, and on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off.
Yes, sir. We in the deep.
Well, a big welcome back to our man, the man is still Curt. So let us know what you're bringing back with you, Curt. What we got today?
All right. First of all, let me say thank you for everyone for all the well wishes and everybody who reached out to me on social media when I was posting those pictures and I was on the vacay with the family. But, you know, I got to talk about this draft thing, man. So let's recap who Brad Holmes, the company, picked in this year's NFL draft. Y'all know with the first pick, number 2 in the first round, we got that edge rusher, Aiden Hutchinson, out of the University of Michigan. And a surprise move. We're going to talk about that later. Big time, Jameson Williams, pick number 12. We traded up from number 32 out of Alabama. Some say he is the most NFL-ready wide receiver coming out in this year's draft. He's had that setback in the up there in the championship game in college football championship. And pick number 46 in round 2, we picked up edge rusher Josh Pascal from Georgia. Kentucky. Got the Georgia on my mind. In round 3, we picked up a number 97 pick overall, Kirby Joseph, Illinois. That's safety. We finally addressed safety in this draft. I know people were clamoring for that. And pick number 177 in the 5th round, tight end James Mitchell out of Virginia Tech. That was a kind of surprise for me. I didn't know who that guy was. Round 6, we had pick number 188 overall, Malcolm Rodriguez, a linebacker out of Oklahoma State. Also in round 6, and pick number 217, got another edge rusher. Now, this was a kind of historical one because we got that HBCU pick, James Houston out of Jackson State. You know what I'm saying? And then the last pick number 237 overall, round 7, Chase Lucas, Arizona State. We kind of traded back into the 7th round. We didn't have a 7th round pick. Kind of traded down to get back into that 7th round to make sure we had 8 picks in this draft. But man, you look at this draft class, and I was like, wow, okay. I said 6 players on defense. I said we got 8 picks. I want 6 on defense, and we got 6 on defense. And the 6 people that a lot of people thought or wanted in Detroit. Oh yeah, I want this guy. I want that guy. Sometimes names don't fit what the team does. You know what I'm saying? Just because a person has a big name, or you would think this guy's coming in going to be a day 1 starter, that doesn't actually mean that person is a fit, or what the coaching staff envisions for the person that they want on the team. Because us as fans and us as YouTubers or whatever you call us, content creators, we always see the goal with the name, and we want this guy and that guy and this guy and this position. Guess what? At the end of the day, it ended up to us.
Right.
But I like the draft class. I'm not doing. Am I gonna say I'm in love with it? No. Do I like it? Yes. Got some big time playmakers, especially in those first 2 picks. You look at Jameson Williams. Everybody gonna say, "Oh, he's injured," and coming off the ACL. Even coming off the ACL, the dude still a 4.3 guy. I mean, the
Right.
dude still can fly. The dude was a
Yeah.
4.2 guy before the knee injury. He was the fastest player with GPS in college football, hands down. The dude is probably the fastest guy in college football last year before the injury. The
Right.
dude can take a 5-yard slant and take it 95 yards to the house and wouldn't even get
Yes.
touched. He's a big time playmaker. That's what they wanted. They want game changers. I like that pick. I already knew about the Aiden Hutchinson thing. I kind of called it. I was with some people on the cruise, and I said, something's telling me that Walker's going to go first. He had been shooting up people's draft boards. I said, if Walker goes 1st we're going to take Aiden Hutchinson, just because of the fact that that's just what's going to happen. I mean, you got probably the two biggest names as far as edge rushers in the draft. All that Thibodeau thing, I was like, nah, it's a smoke screen. Aiden Hutchinson went number 2 to Michigan from Detroit, and I was happy with that. The young man. How can you get mad at arguably the best, highest rated pass rusher? I mean, this really player in the draft. You look at his intangibles. He's not just a pass rusher. He can set the edge. He can play in the run game well. And I think that's where a lot of people were kind of down on Thibodeau, where he's not that polished of a run defender. Josh Pascal coming out of Kentucky, big time edge. He can rush. He can play inside. He can play outside. He can set the edge. He can play the run. Good pickup. Kirby Joseph was the interesting pick for me. I like the safety. Quietly was the highest rated safety in the draft. I mean, PFF. He was higher. He was rated higher than Kyle Hamilton. He was rated higher than Levine. He was rated, all those big name guys. He was rated higher than those guys. Turnover machine, interceptions, forced fumbles. Great pickup back there. He's going to be a nice piece in the back end of our secondary. If you look at James Houston, defensive end or outside linebacker, he can play inside linebacker as well. Versatile guy. Played at Florida. Transferred to Jackson State. I like the pickup, versatile guy. If you look at some of these guys like Pascal and Houston, these guys can play multiple positions, and I think that's what they were looking for: guys who can play inside, outside, can play multiple positions on the defense. So you look at that, and then you look at a player like Rodriguez coming out of Oklahoma State. The dude is a heat-seeking missile. Probably not as you look at the draft boards. Everyone likes the big name candy. You know what I'm saying? They want the big names, But there's a reason why some of these names were dropping down the draft board. If you look at the guy we call kind of coveted, Nakobe Dean, that dude dropped out the bottom. Dropped out of his drafts was because he had the injuries. He had the torn pectoral, couldn't do a lot of workouts, and he went to Philadelphia later on in the draft. And then around and out, you got the young fella. Now, I watched him at the combine, the cornerback out of Arizona State. That kid can play. Chad Lucas can play. You look at him, he's definitely going to come in and compete. If you look at the way the Lions drafted, they picked up guys who are going to come in and compete and have that same kind of nasty dog type of attitude. I'm not in love with the draft, but I like the draft. What do you guys think about it?
I like the draft, man. Well, there's when it's my topic, I'm gonna get to addressing a couple of things, but you know what, I'm happy with it. I was surprised, everybody was surprised about what happened in the first round. It was an aggressive move by Holmes. Everything I think was addressed that needed to be addressed. So I'm not too mad at it. Like I said, I give your post draft grades, like just from the eye test, just looking on paper, I say it's a B+. Just because we covered everything that we needed to cover. So we got all that, got it all out. So I'm just waiting to see what happens on the field. I'm waiting to see who makes this roster. What I'm most excited about is if there's a there's a kind of a tie between Pascal and, let's say, a Michael Brockers or something like that, or does that guy get the nod? Our draft pick should get the nod. If there's between Charles Harris and and Pascal, because they kind of play the same position, it's like, well, are they gonna give him the nod? And that's what I'm interested to see, is how this plays out in camp and how this plays out week 1. But I'm good with it, man. Yeah, I'm good.
I think that the writing's on the wall for some of the guys who have been here and haven't been able to stay on the field. I think some of those guys are going to be out the building. You know what I'm saying? I think some guys are going to be on the bubble, like Austin Bryant and then past, what's his name, Jashawn Cornell. Some of those guys, you're going to have to come in and work to get your position this year, because them young fellas are going to be nipping at the bud to get on that field.
Yeah,
what you got, Ella?
That's one thing I like, though. I like, though, that we did double down on a couple of those positions, because now the position ain't just handed to you. You're not just, oh, here you go. No, you got to fight for that, bro. So
Yep.
Right. I like the draft overall. I'm gonna continue the theme. I was super surprised with the trade up for Jameson Williams. But I had said it before, Brad Holmes would trade some shit to get some shit, and that's exactly what he did. So, I guess I was kind of looking for an aggressive move, and that was the one. I think we might get, one of those a draft, probably not necessarily that kind of move for a wide receiver, but just an aggressive move. But again, I overall liked it. I like even our later round picks, some guys that can come in and they don't necessarily have to play right away, but they can come in and learn. And you already know, I've said it 100 times, I trust the staff. I trust these guys. I have been saying it a lot before the draft, and I think Brad Holmes was like, "Are you sure?" So, so yeah. But with some of these picks, I only knew of Kirby Joseph from Miss Val, so shout out to Miss Val. But I'll wait to see how he turns out. The bigger shock than Jameson Williams was probably the James Mitchell trade. I wasn't expecting a tight end, or at least that early. I wasn't expecting in the 5th round. It was some other guys we might have could have got there, but whatever's clever. But I am more excited for what's going on, this year and the years to come. I don't know if we're talking about this just yet, but I'll mention it. We even gave out some nice deals to our UDFAs, and I'm kind of wondering if that's because of like a TV contract or anything, because our camp will be a part of Hard Knocks and stuff. So I don't know if that's a reason why they were able to give out some of those bigger contracts. But we even got some of the better UDFAs and we're able to give them some pretty nice contracts as well. So welcome all of these young men. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're gonna break them down on the next show. We're gonna go through the whole UDFA class on tomorrow's show. So stay tuned for the UDFAs. We're gonna break them guys down once the deals are officially announced, and we, because everything is, sources and stuff right now. But once we get them thing and the contracts are officially, done, guaranteed, man, we're gonna break them guys down. But I'll, like I said, now there was some question marks before we kind of move on. You get Jameson Williams, and we'll talk about, the big trade up here in a minute. But coming off the ACL injury, but ACLs, and you had another guy, the tight end, he's coming off the ACL injury as well. So you got 2 guys coming off the ACL. Now, I will say this is an ACL injury. If this was back in the day, if this was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I'd be really worried about it. You think about this. ACLs aren't as big as you look at where Jameson Williams, he's already working out, running, you're looking at him, he could be ready by training camp. He could be ready, but he's with the Lions in their position, they don't have to rush him back with the sign of DJ Chark. Right. So they can bring him in. They don't have to rush him back. They don't have to rush the tight end back as well. They can let him heal. They can bring him in mid-season. We got some players that are depth pieces, but with Jameson Williams, he's going to be a guy. He's going to be on the field probably faster than you think he is.
Yeah, I think day one. And one thing is, a couple weeks after the surgery, man, he ran a 4.440.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let y'all know that he ran a 4.4 a couple weeks after surgery. So
let's think about this. If he can run a 4.4 after ACL, think about what he said. He said if he would have been healthy for the combine, he would have ran the fastest 40 in combine history, and I kind of believe that. I believe that it was.
Yeah.
You know, so
You
I
run a
believe
4.4 that like a couple weeks after tearing your ACL.
If he would have been healthy if he'd have been healthy for the combine, if he wouldn't have torn his ACL, I believe he would have ran the fastest 40 time in history.
I'm not gonna say I don't believe it, but I want to see it.
I'm just saying.
But think about how the times were this year. We had some very fast people this year, and I think he was faster than any of them. To be honest with you, I think he was faster than any of them. But let's, but before we can do all that, man, hey, thank you for joining the show. You know,
pay these bills.
Hey, man, let's subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Like the videos, subscribe to the video. Hey, we on that March the 4th, so get on the bus, Gus. Get on this train, Wayne. Get on this ride, Clyde, and help us get to this 4,000 subscribers, man. We really appreciate you. Be a part of the Prowl Nation family. Now it's time for the family discussion topic of the day. What are your thoughts on how the Lions did in the draft? Drop us a comment down below. You know how we do it. We pick 6 of those things to read on each show. You know how we do it. The comment cards will be coming up later. But now it's time to kick to my man, LL Cool Toys, for the bold move we talked about earlier in the show.
Yeah. Not even midway through the first round, we're watching it, and you get the thing where they didn't even, how they normally say, we have a trade. It was just the bottom thing turned, and it was the Lions, and I said, oh, shit, we about to get Malik Willis. And I was ready to start cussing and flipping stuff over, but we didn't. I didn't necessarily like this pick. We traded up 20 spots in the first round and gave up our second round pick and number 66 to get wide receiver Jameson Williams out of Alabama. I knew a lot of the guys, a lot of the talk about him before the injury was that he was, probably the number one wide receiver in this draft. All of the superlatives, all of the measurables, he had it all, athleticism, speed, catching, route running, it all. So he was probably the clear-cut number one. But, unfortunately, he was injured. So, and in other drafts, we would be upset about drafting injured players. But I think that, I guess just the track of his recovery warrants the move for that pick rather. And just because, we're not in a big rush anyway. Like, this ain't no big pressure year for us. So we have a year. We can let him actually get back to wherever he needs to be before we even, let him get out there. So I do like this pick for future years to come. Maybe even this year, he may be able to get out there. One thing, though, that I will ask is, we wanted to get speedy wide receivers for Jared Goff, but, like, are you sure you want that? Like, the further down the field he is, the more upset we may be, and that's where I'll leave it. But I did think that, I really didn't like that we gave up 66. I thought there was a lot of good players still there at 66. Some of them that were there was Chad Muma, Christian Harris, Travis Jones, Nakobe Dean, and Marvin Leal. But I'm glad that we did. I'm glad that we ended up with Jameson Williams. Welcome to Detroit. Let's see what we got going. And what do you guys think about that pick? And that trade and that pick?
Man, that was a stick 'em up trade. We stuck them up. That's stick them up. Think about this, right? We had 8 picks. We went down to 7, and we fell from the 8 picks, right? We didn't give up first round. We gave up. All we did was swap. Pretty much, you swap the end of the first round, and then the second round pick, because we didn't give up our second round pick. We just traded with them for their second round pick.
Pick swap.
So we just swapped it out. We lost our third round pick, but we had another third round pick. So I'm not to go up that far, and we still got 2 number 1s next year. To go up that far in the draft, and we still got both number 1s for next year. Stick them up, stick them up, stick them up.
Yeah, you know what? It's something that we talked about on one of the shows, like right before you left, man, and it was trading with people in the division. And I said, man, I'm down with it. I said, as long as we come out on top, I'm down with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not opposed. That's that old school way of thinking, like, oh, we ain't trading with. No, man, if we can come out on top in that situation, then I'm for it, man. And hey, it is what it is.
For that type of player to not have to give up an additional first round draft pick.
Yeah.
All we did was give up a third rounder and we end up getting our 8 picks back that we traded back down later on in the draft. I'm looking at this guy, man, bold move by Brad Holmes, but you arguably got the highest rated defensive player in the draft and the highest rated offensive player in the draft. I mean, some people aren't
Right.
going to like it. People are going to be, we get wide receiver. Oh, that's the same old Lions. That's a different move right there. The same old Lions would have been drafting him at number 2. That would have been the same old Lions move.
Or a wide receiver.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I know my man Adam said it the other day on Woodward Sports, but I'm gonna say this today. Malik Willis got drafted where the fuck he was supposed to get drafted, man. I'm trying to tell you.
You know what? Malik Willis ended up in the perfect situation.
For him. Yes.
He ended up with a run dominant team and a good defense. And I'm like, damn.
That, you know what? I'll say this. Those quarterbacks went exactly where they were supposed to go. They got overhyped, oversold. Oh, it was like, oh yeah, man, this dude should be in the first round. This dude should be at the end of the first round. And Sam Howell at 32. Man, first of all, I wouldn't even have 32 because we'd already traded that pick away. But hell no. I'm just saying, man, these quarterbacks, and excuse my language, they got drafted exactly. And Bray Brown said, like, if you look at any other year, these guys would have been exactly where they got drafted. But because of the hype and because of media, they were pushing these guys up into the first round, up to the second round. One guy went in the first round, and everybody else fell to the third round.
Yeah.
They got drafted exactly where they're supposed to get drafted.
Right. But you know what?
And
I wish they also
what's that?
They also, I think what they got was they got a chance to sit for a year and develop. Because you know what? A lot of QBs get throughout there because that's the new trend. But if you look at the 3 most successful QBs in the NFL, they weren't day one starters. So these guys get a chance to develop, and then maybe they actually come out to be a good QB class just because they got pushed back and they can develop and they have that time. Not like Mitchell Trubisky where you like go out there, boy, go and do something. You know what I'm saying? Like
those guys that get overhyped and overdrafted, they struggle.
Mitchell
they struggle. And if you look at a guy like a Zach Wilson out there for the Jets, overhyped, overdrafted. You have those guys that were underhyped and got drafted, and they did good, like a Josh Allen or a what's the kid out there in for the Chargers?
Josh Herbert. Justin
Herbert, yeah. Guys, those guys were underhyped, but they got drafted, and they are doing good. But I just didn't see it. I wish those guys good luck. I wish Malik Willis good luck, man. And I wish you, LL. My heart was pounding. I'm like, man, hell, we don't.
When them trade,
the guy was next to me was like, oh man, y'all going to Malik Willis? I'm like, man, shut up.
I know. When it happened on I was watching on ESPN, and they said it's a court because I didn't. It was almost simultaneous. Like I seen the thing change, and they were saying like when they started talking about it, it was like they got to get it's a quarterback here, right? It's a quarterback here. I'm like, what the? I'm thinking, because maybe they heard something. I'm like, man, no, please, Lord, and they didn't. So
no, but you know what? When the trade details came out right before the selection was in, I was like, oh no, they're not grabbing no quarterback because they would have had to give up more if they was moving up to get a quarterback just because. So I knew, I thought they was moving up for Devin Lloyd. That's who I thought they was, Devin Lloyd.
I thought they were moving up for Kyle Hamilton. That's what I thought. But Kyle Hamilton went 2 picks later to
Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth, Kurt.
To the Ravens.
These bills real quick, man.
All right, hey, come on, man. Hey, man, if you want to get yourself some Lions gear, draft gear is out, and the new selection jerseys and their t-shirts are out over at fanatics.com. That's where I got my lovely new draft cap at. So go over to fanatics.com and get yourself some gear. The link's in the description below. And if you want to get yourself some new Lions Nation Unite gear, the Lions Nation Unite shop is now open. I got on my draft shirt. It says, Lions, if you're not in love with a quarterback, don't reach for one. And I'm glad we didn't reach for none of them nutter. Like my man said, nutter one of them cats.
I like the way you say that, nutter.
Nutter. I'm glad we ain't reached for nutter one of them dudes. But go to Lions Nation Unite, LNUshop.com. We're going to have our gear is going to be over there coming soon. So go. I say we have some big news with that coming out. So the shop is open. Some of our designs will be coming over there. You can check us out and get some gear from us. But right now, you still can go over to Detroit Lions and the Prowl shop.com or, Lions and the Prowl shop.com. Get yourself some Prowl Nation gear like the MCDC sweatshirt. You see my man LL rocking right there. And if you want to check us out on LNU, go over to Lions Nation Unite. Download the app in the Google, Apple, or Android App Store and hang out with us in the one-stop shop, the ultimate virtual hangout for Detroit Lions fans. Now it's time for my man Coach Jones to talk about that defense, man. Brad Holmes in this draft. What's up with that, man?
First of all, I just want to say for people who acting like they, because people act like they okay with the Jameson Williams pick, but they wasn't at first. And the thing is y'all don't realize that we drafted 7 defensive players, so it was a defensive draft. But
no, 6, right? You said 7.
6. Yeah, 6. I meant 7. Yeah. Well, and the thing is the only question I have on, because first of all, I just want to get this out there. Edge rushers, you get them, I'm good. Like, I'm so 100. Like, I'm like, oh, we could have got him, but you know what? We got an edge rusher. I'm cool. But there's one question that I might have chose somebody different, and that was at 46 when we got Pascal. Because when we at 46, I'm gonna listen to the players that were still on the board because I felt like middle linebacker needed to be addressed. I still don't feel like the starting middle linebacker. I'm not confident in those guys' abilities. Derek Barnes, he's unproven. Alex Anzalone, no. Because we're going to be just as mad as him as we was at Tahir Whitehead because you're a cover guy trying to play that middle, trying to scrape downhill. But let me list the guys that were still available when we picked Josh Pascal. Okay? Nakobe Dean, Christian Harris, Troy Anderson, Chad Muma, Brian Asamoah, I forgot, whatever, Shannon Tyndall, and Leo Chanel. Okay. And I just knew we were gonna go middle linebacker. But we went edge, and we did get a very good edge rusher, guy that's a balanced guy. He can play inside, outside on the edge. He can so he's good against the run and the pass. So I'm happy with that. But one guy that snuck in that I really had to do my research on this guy was James Houston. Okay, James Houston was a guy who played 3 years for Florida, and then he transferred to Jackson State. And let me read you some of these numbers that happened his final year at Jackson State. Houston had 16 and a half sacks. 16 and a half. I know it was against the lower D1 competition, but that's still 16 and a half sacks.
He could have not had 16 and a half.
Yeah. He had 24 and a half tackles for loss while causing 8 turnovers. And that was 7 forced fumbles and 1 interception. The dude is around the ball, right? 7 forced fumbles and 1 interception in 1 season. 16 and a half sacks, 24 and a half tackles for loss.
Yeah.
He's gonna be the sneaky pick of the draft. I think that he's gonna make a lot of noise in the NFL. Yeah, those numbers right there stick out to me. Even though they're at that lower D1 level, it's still, when you do that,
right,
that's incredible. But overall, I'm happy. I'm glad we addressed the edge. We got the edge straight, right?
Yeah.
There's no more picks that need to be on the edge. It becomes a James Houston and let's say Charles Harris. James Houston gonna get the nod in the play. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If Michael Brockers is on the field, these guys can get the nod, and I'm happy it's settled, and we good at the edge, man. We are 100. What y'all got to say about that, man?
I mean, he's versatile. You can play inside, and he can play because he can play He played the interior linebacker and he played outside linebacker. So, you can kind of move him around. He's what do you call it? He's a versatile tool that you can add. Say a Leatherman tool, jack of all trades type of dude. You can coach him up. I'm sure Kelvin Shepard is happy to get him in the fold. You look at this. I mean, I'm like, you took 3 guys that can play edge. Out of 8 picks, you picked 3 of them. Brad Holmes said, we're going to address this 31st ranked pass rush in the league. We're going to do
Today.
that. I mean, he did it. He did it. And he did it big time. I mean, drafting 3 of those guys, you drafted 1 each day. I mean, even looking at Josh Pascal, he wasn't a big sack numbers guy, but the guy had 38 tackles for loss. I mean, in one season, in his senior season at Kentucky. That was one season, 38 tackles for loss last year at Kentucky. That's in the SEC. So you look at that. Right. I mean, the guy was the team captain for 3 years. We all know he had the melanoma scare. But that guy, that tells you that's a determined guy. He's motivated, and that's a guy who's not going to quit. He is a guy who has that type of drive and grit. All of these guys that we're picking in the draft are the guys that kind of hard nosed. They fit what Dan Campbell, how he coaches, and their attitude. But I'm liking the 3 edge rushers, man. Brad Holmes said we're gonna pick this pass rush, not now, but right now. What you got, LF?
Right damn now.
Right. Same thing with all you guys said. I'm right along with you, Coach Mike. Never can have too many pass rushers, and I think that was the idea. It's like, hey, let's just go get them. Let's send some more guys at the quarterback. After them guys get tired, we got more guys to go get them. So, it's just one more rush after one more rush. So I expect to see that pay off. If maybe not even this year, but in the years to come. That's how I look at this draft. I don't look at next year for all of the impact. We may get a lot of good play from these young guys next year, but I'm looking for just future. Like you just said, James Houston. I think that with time and development, he'll be something to look at. Josh Pascal, he's probably already ready to play, but he's gonna get time to develop and get a little bit better. Get a secondary move, get a counter move to that move. Things like that. So I'm not mad. I've been saying it. I do trust them, so I'm gonna trust them. I'm just excited to see some of these guys. I'm waiting to see them big old hits. I'm waiting to see balls separated from quarterbacks. I'm just waiting to see what we need to see these guys from edge rushers flying off the edge and knocking guys down. I always talk about the Baltimore Ravens. I don't think that we had a Baltimore Ravens type draft, even though they had a great draft. I think we had a new Detroit Lions type draft that was a good draft. But in the spirit of the Ravens, we just got guys to keep sending you. That guy get tired, he get hurt, we got another guy coming at you. You figured him out, we got another guy. How you gonna stop him? You gotta put a fullback on that side too. Yeah. So, we're going to be coming and we're going to be knocking guys down all year, hopefully.
Yes, sir. If you like this channel, I'm sorry, Kurt.
And that HBCU connection with Brad Holmes, said North Carolina State, North Carolina anti-Aggie. You got that, HBCU, the Jackson State. And then shout out to the Chiefs for drafting HBCU player out of Fayetteville, Josh Williams. I think his last name is the cornerback out of Fayetteville State, the Broncos, man. Shout out to the HBCU players getting a shot this year. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead, Mike.
So if you like this content, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share the content, help us get this content out to more Lions fans just like yourself. And what you got up next, Kurt?
Y'all know what it is, man. It's time for my favorite segment of the show. It's time for us to zip our lip and talk about what you had to talk about on the last show. All right, first up, we got Lions CEO. Okay. I think the first 5 picks will settle edge, some combination of safety, linebacker, and wide receiver. Okay, I think that will happen. He said at 32, 34, and 66. Well, it was 12. 46 and I can't forget what
90-something, 97, I think.
Because of the depth issue with the pass rushers, and another one at 97. We took those. 5 picks should land some real talent at those positions, with my unsolicited opinion. Okay, I think that's what happened. I mean, we drafted safety, linebacker, and wide receiver. I mean, okay, I think that's what happened, brother.
Good Eye Lions CEO, friend of the show, Tony Blumenshine says, we definitely got to build up our team on both sides of the ball. We can't compare with teams that can score 45 points or even 30 points. It's nice to have some weapons, but you got to be able to stop a team. Go defense. Great stuff out there, Val, Coach, and LL. Thank you, Tony. Thanks for the comment.
Sure. King SJ says, while I agree linebacker is a position we really need to address in the draft, but safety is right up there with it as well. And yeah, we addressed that safety position. I think Kirby Joseph is going to come in as soon as Deshaun Elliott, you know, get a little weak in the knees, man. Kirby Joseph gonna come in there.
Weak in the knees.
You know, as the I guess so. But yeah, he yeah, I think he gonna come in there and play, man. Maybe we'll pick up one more UFDA, but yeah, we good, man.
Okay. All right. So Michael Lucci says, I'm okay not going Willis. Well, I guess you're in a choice now. But loading up on linebackers makes no sense. Most of our defensive snaps will have 1 or 2 linebackers on the field. That is correct. We play a lot of sub packages. Why load up on them? And we won't and can't use them in our system. This will be a waste. As much as I love linebackers in this draft, really don't need to double up there. Now, I will say this. Jeff Risden came out and said that the Lions were not going to draft a linebacker early. That they liked their linebackers that they had that they had in the house already. And guess what? I mean, I have to say, old dude, but it was right. I mean, the Lions did not draft the linebacker early, so you know there goes that. I mean, sometimes sources are right.
Right. Scott Smith says, here's how the draft should go. Number 2, Aiden Hutchinson, edge. Number 32, Devin Lloyd, linebacker. Number 34, Christian Watson, wide receiver. 75, Nick Cross, safety. 97, Carson Strong, quarterback. 177, JoJo Doman, if I'm saying that right, linebacker. 181, Vincent Gray, cornerback. 217, Tyson Anderson, safety. And a 2023 Denver 5th round pick. Thanks for that. You got one of them right.
Yep, you got the first one right. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah. Wow. He must have listed like a mock draft that he had. So
yeah,
shout out to you, Scott. Great Scott. Okay. Back to the Future. Great Scott. Lions will regret if they pass on Willis. You know what?
They did.
You know what, man? I'm not, like I said, I'm not gonna give out no draft. You know, he's gonna do this, he's gonna do that. We don't know, but he went to the perfect team. So, you know, we just didn't have the roster set to, you know what I'm saying? Because he needs a defense that's competent, that is fully that's all together to make up for whenever he does do something, you know. So he went where he was supposed to go, man. It's all good. And he went to the AFC, so it's all good.
Yeah, definitely. You know, we got our wide receiver, and I'm gonna say one thing: once he gets healthy and he gets under that coaching staff, under Antoine Winterwell, there's a video out there that this dude from the Green Bay Packers lost his crap when the Lions took Jameson Williams because they were thinking he could be the next Devontae Adams.
That's let me if I can squeeze this in real quick. That was the big thing about the Jameson Williams trade. I don't remember if one of you guys said it in our chat or if one of my homies said it in our chat, but the biggest thing about that is we kept him from Green Bay.
Yep.
One thing though, did y'all know when he got drafted, like he didn't seem very happy to be drafted. I didn't really like that. I would have just let his ass like we don't want you no more. We'll take somebody else.
Nah,
that's me personally.
That's just his demeanor's like that. That's some of them cats is just like that. Yeah. I think he probably was shocked. You asked him, he said, because Megan Stefanski, one of the fans that was out there when in the crowd, she was like, he was happy. He wasn't crying. He was like, I think it just shocked him because the Lions hadn't talked to him at all. He asked him, he was like, the Lions, I hadn't talked to the Lions at all. I didn't know the Lions, I was even on their radar. So,
well, my apologies if I saw wrong.
That dude demeanor, his demeanor is
I didn't like it.
Kind of just like,
I think you know. Hey, he better lay off that weed, man.
Hey, now it's time for everybody else's favorite segment of the show, man. It's time for dessert. What's your man, Curt? Brought to you by Delightful Bites, custom cookies and desserts for any occasion. Delightful Bites, get your cookie on. Real quick, shout out to the Michigan Panthers, man. They got their first win this weekend, 27-0 over those pizza-hating Pittsburgh Maulers of the USFL. The Pittsburgh Maulers they cut Buddy because he picked pizza over chicken salad. So shout out to Jeff Fisher and company for picking up that win, man, and blowing those dudes out the water. Man, I really like that, man. Oh, pizza hating asses. All right, let's go over to the Wall of Fame real quick. All right, first up, we got my man Detroit Drew, the Latino Leo. We got a new member, Raw Business is in the building for our bronze members.
Welcome.
Welcome, Raw Business. And then for our silver members, we got Nomas J, Cap Ice Cold, Mr. Scotty the Bear, and Shannon Peck. And our gold members will have their gold members meeting tomorrow at 3 p.m. We got North End Kens in the building. Michael Huck was all over that draft coverage with Larry McQuiston as well. And with Lionor of Deuce Baggio was kicking it in the building as well on those live draft shows, man. Appreciate the gold members hanging out. And we have a new member of the gold members. It is Paul Jaroz's, Jarozosz. I'm sorry I butchered your name. I'll get it right the next time. Just let me know. Drop a comment and down below to let me know how to pronounce your last name. Hey, if you want to become a member of the Wall of Fame, click the join now button down in the description. Now it's time for final thoughts. Wrap it up right quick. My man LL, what you got on this draft?
I keep it real short and simple. Happy Wednesday. And to Aiden Hutchinson, Jameson Williams, Josh Pascal, Kirby Joseph, James Mitchell, Malcolm Rodriguez, James Houston, Chad Lucas, and all of the UDFAs. Welcome to Detroit. Let's get it.
Man, it's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday, okay. My brother.
What I said,
Wednesday? Good.
Yeah,
it's all good. It's all good. Hey,
Tuesday.
I can't wait for Hard Knocks. I can't wait for Hard Knocks to see those camp battles with those rookies, the vets. I just can't wait to see it. All them personalities together. The NFL will fall in love with the Detroit Lions. We don't have to hear this shit no more, man.
Hey, great to be back, man. You know, I had to take a day off yesterday. You can tell I'm still a little under the weather, but we getting better, man. Had to take a day off, man. We're going to IR for one day, but I'm back. We'll be back tomorrow as well. But I enjoyed my vacation, man. Make sure you follow us on your favorite social media platforms and links on the screen, man, and hang out with us. To go behind the scenes, man, you can check out all my vacation pictures I posted, man. Having some fun, having a little drink, having a little food, you know what I'm saying, just enjoying the family. But I appreciate everyone. You know, boy started his master's program yesterday, so going back to school, getting that degree. So doing some big things. We're going to bring that right here to the show. You know how we do it, man. And for the draft, I like the draft. It's a wait and see kind of mode for me because, to be honest with you, grading the draft right now is dumb because guess what? You ain't gonna know what players are doing for at least 2 years. You grade a draft about 2 years. That way you can see how the players that you pick perform, even if your players are still on the roster. I mean, the draft. I mean, because some of the guys that were first round draft picks won't even be in the league in 2 years. I'm saying we're gonna see them guys in the springtime playing USFL or XFL. I'm just saying, but you know what I'm saying? But wait and see. And, you know, congratulations to everyone who got drafted, man. And we're going to touch on those UDFAs on our next show. So make sure you tune in tomorrow for those UDFAs, man. Hey, I appreciate all the love. It is 2-Piece Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, or whatever you eat on Tuesdays, man. And whatever you do in life, man, anything you can be in life, just be kind, man. But you know what you guys do, man. Finish that crumbs off your face, man. Finish your drink and get back to work, baby. And whatever you do in life, you got to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. For my fellas, LL and Coach Mike, this is Curt Steele, and I will holla at you real soon. We love you, Jim.